This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
Okay, let us call to order the meeting of the Southampton Select Board for October 28th at about 6:02. And we have Stephen, myself, Ellen via Zoom, and John should be coming momentito, but let us stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks. All right. Okay, so we were due to have a poll hearing at 6:05 with NSTAR, or known as Eversource Energy. If you would just check and make sure they're not lost, to be sure they're here. When we set a time for a hearing, we need to try and respect that. Unless they don't show up, then we will move on, okay? So give us a minute. Nobody? Okay. All right, so I think we're going to have to postpone the idea of the poll hearing, which was going to be for a house service on a new customer on 116 East Street and future service to 118 East Street. You folks are here representing one of those two houses, is that correct? Or 118, okay. I think what we'll end up doing, we'll just have to contact Eversource. I'm surprised they're not here. So we'll contact them and try to get on the agenda for the next meeting, which will be November 10th, which is actually Monday night. Normally we meet on Tuesday, but next Tuesday will be a holiday. So, or that Tuesday would be a holiday. So we're going to meet on Monday night, the 10th instead. So just watch out for that. But you can check in with Scott here at Town Hall, or leave us your email if you want. We'll just make sure that you know that there is the hearing if it's on the agenda. If you want to just jot down your email on something here. Here's a piece of paper on the back of this if you'd like to.
You need a vote?
No, we're not opening the...
Oh, we didn't even open.
We're not even opening the hearing anymore,
Yep.
so, no. Sorry about that. Thanks for coming out. That's kind of unusual that they don't show up. They're the ones that requested
Yeah, they requested it, so.
Yeah, so. Okay, so we will aim to check with them and get this on the agenda for the November 10th meeting, okay? Same time, 6 o'clock-ish, thereabouts. Okay, thanks. Okay, so with that, let's go to Citizen Speak. I take it we have some people here for Citizen Speak tonight. So who would like to go first? Okay, go ahead, stand up and at the podium and give your name and address and go for it.
Good evening, Martha Issad, 8 Golden Circle.
Sorry, Martha, maybe
Do I need
pull that
to
down.
do
Just a
this?
little. There you go, thank you.
We good?
I think so, probably.
Okay. Years ago, I served on the town council in southern New Jersey, a rural town of about 25,000 people. We bought open space freely, believing it was right, until the debt caught up with us. The town nearly went bankrupt. The state warned it would step in if we didn't act. Citizens approved a 30% tax increase just to keep basic services running. What had been one of South Jersey's most desirable communities saw property values drop, the police force cut in half, and services outsourced. That experience taught me how good intentions can turn into long-term debt. Southampton's changing, and many feel the strain of higher property taxes, new fees, and rising costs. Recently, the town purchased 52 acres for a public safety complex and other community uses. With around $2.5 million in outstanding debt, we should re-examine what's practical and consider selling the unused portion to reduce cost and bring in new commercial ratables. We can refocus our plan on a smaller, efficient public safety complex that meets our needs and allows the Select Board to set clear financial boundaries. not to exceed $15 million for the entire project, as a suggestion, or begin with the new fire station with the intention of phasing in a police station as funds allow, again within conservative financial parameters. With the $2.5 million donation, we could modernize the existing senior center, opening the layout, eliminating interior walls and the outdated kitchen, adding movable soundproof partitions, and updating the HVAC system and lighting to make it more welcoming, without the heavy cost of new construction. Overflow parking could be added behind the old fire station. By improving what we already have and using funds already in hand, we can meet real needs, limiting new borrowing and strengthen the town's finances. We also need to rebuild public trust, and that begins with clear communication. Before any new capital projects go to town meeting, the town should implement and share a 5 to 10-year capital spending plan with cost and priorities. A one-page fiscal summary mailed with the next tax bill, perhaps, and posted online would give everyone the same facts. Thank you for listening, for your service to the town, and for keeping an open mind as we work towards balanced, practical solution. Let's give this town a reason to believe and a reason to vote yes with confidence. Thank you.
Thank you, Martha. All right.
you.
Very good. Next.
Hello, Renee Groden and Cheryl Lane. I'm here also to talk about the Public Safety Building Committee and the building complex, and I'm urging the Select Board to not accept the recommendation from the Public Safety Building Committee. I can understand how discouraged this committee is. I know there have been people on this committee that have been on this committee for a very, very long time. And I think that this is the second time that a vote went to the citizens and they voted it down. It's the third time we've purchased land for the intention of the public safety complex or an emergency building. And I just want to remind the committee that a tremendous amount of progress was made this time around. As discouraging as it is, the first time around, the Historical Society was against knocking down the old fire station. This time, there's plenty of land that was bought to be able to have a public safety complex, and there was also a sizable donation that was received. So I think the committee deserves a tremendous amount of congratulations on all the incredibly hard work that they did. But I don't know what the charge currently of the Public Safety Building Committee is. I don't know if the Select Board has a more recent copy, but I'm not even sure that the recent vote that they took is consistent with the charge from the Select Board. I can't stay, unfortunately, for the presentation, so I'm sort of preempting their vote, which I watched, and basically it's to move forward with only a fire station. I don't think that they ever looked at what the people in Southampton actually want. I didn't hear a single person say after the vote they should only just do a fire station. I think that I agree that the price tag was prohibitive for a lot of people in town, but I don't think we should throw out everything. I think there should be a pause on this particular committee. We are in terrible financial times. It reminds me of 2020 when every department was cut 3%. I think we have to just pause a committee, come up with a new charge by the Select Board, see if we can recruit new members, thank the people that were on the committee that feel like they need to rotate off, and do a little bit more work to bring in more people and to decide what is in the best interest of Southampton. You can't make decisions solely on finances or you're going to be doomed. I think you have to make decisions on what's in the best interest of Southampton. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Next.
My name is Ann Bowman, and my address is 202 Pomeroy Meadow Road. My concern tonight is about the public safety complex. I think that Southampton needs a public safety complex. I understand that both the fire department and the police department are housed in less than adequate facilities. I think this is to the detriment of all residents of Southampton. I also understand that the fire department's needs are of more concern than the needs of the police department. However, I think that the residents of Southampton need adequate facilities for both departments. I support a public safety complex for Southampton. Southampton has already waited too long for this. I would like to thank the Public Safety Building Committee and the Select Board for their hard work and dedication to our town. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Hi, excuse me, Bruce Bowman, 202 Pomeroy Meadow Road. I just want to express my support of the Public Safety Building Committee. I also want to express my support for a building that can adequately do the job and not having an artificial cap be placed on it without assessing what are the needs need to go into that building. Anyway, I look forward to, let me take that back. Hopefully the building committee can continue, possibly with a new charge. They've put in a lot of work, and it's something that the town needs. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Open time. Public speak. Welcome, John. All right. If that's the end of that, we will close open time for the public. All right, moving on to the actual agenda. John, for your information, Eversource did not show up, so we did not do the the poll hearing. We'll put it off until November 10th, and assuming that they come at that point in time. We have 2 appointments, I believe, tonight. Hold on, I can pull these up. Had them. Come on.
If you will.
Yeah, if you have it handy, go ahead.
There are actually 3,
Okay, there's one,
but the details are different.
yeah, go ahead, yep.
First one is an appointment to the Housing Authority, Sharon Tilby, a new appointment until the next election on May 19, 2026.
Okay. And you want to read just a little bit or about her background a little bit? She's wrote a letter into
I
us.
don't
or
have that
I
right
have it
in
handy
front of me.
if you don't.
Had some issues.
So let's see. So Sharon Tilby had been a longtime resident in town, had moved away for work over time, but has been back in town for a number of years. She's been very much a healthcare professional for most of her life here down in Florida, and she basically would like to volunteer to help out the town, and she's been working currently as a volunteer coordinator for Easthampton Neighbors, which is a nonprofit serving Easthampton seniors. And so she's served on the board there and has been back in Southampton since 2021. So she's put forth her name to be on the Housing Authority, and according to the chair of the Housing Authority, she's attended a few of the meetings and is aware of what the Housing Authority does.
I
So,
can vouch for that.
all right, so we have a motion on the table. Could
Yes,
I
you
have
do.
a second on that?
Second.
All right. All those in favor, we'll do a roll call vote, given that Ellen is remote tonight. So all those in favor, Ellen, I'll start with you. Okay, can't hear you. No, I saw you, but I didn't hear you. There's no volume, Scott?
Johnson, aye.
Okay,
Lumper, aye.
okay, falls on. Okay, that one passes. Thank you very much. So Sharon, if you're listening, you will get an appointment letter from the town administrator's assistant, and you will need to come to the town clerk's office to get sworn in before you could attend another Housing Authority meeting and have a voting privilege. Okay,
In order
next.
to vote. Right. The meetings are open to all.
So next one.
Next one is also for the Housing Authority. Joy Piper, a resignation effective October 23, 2025.
Second.
All right.
Joy has served in many roles in this community and recently on the Housing Authority, but I think family commitments limit her engagement, and the next appointment involves Joy as well.
Oh, let's take one at a time. Let's do the resignation first.
You don't think that people have the agenda in front of them? Okay. It is one by one. First, she has to resign from
resign
the
before
Housing
we can appoint
Authority
her.
effective October 23, 2025.
Okay, we have a resignation on the table and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Roll call, please.
Johnson, aye.
Lumber, aye.
Ellen? You're muted, Ellen, sorry. Raise your hand, I'll take that.
And thirdly,
Fowles, aye.
again, Joy,
Motion passes, hang on. Okay, we'll figure out that
we got that?
sound thing, because we're going to need Ellen's input here.
Joy Piper, a new appointment to the board, the Affordable Housing Trust, a 2-year term to expire June 30th, 2027.
Okay, all right, second, please.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Lumber aye.
Johnson, aye.
Fowles, aye. I see Ellen's mouth moving, but I don't hear any volume, so I'm not sure what's going on there. All right, that motion passes. Thank you very much. We'll take all those appointments, so 2 appointments and a resignation, and the same thing, Joy knows the ropes, I think, to come in and get sworn in, okay? I think that gives us feedback there if you do that. I don't know. Can't hear you, Ellen. No.
I'll text Easthampton
Yeah,
Media.
text Easthampton Media if you would. But let's go ahead and jump to reports, though. Scott, would you like to give us your town administrator report, please?
Yep. So we have a few good pieces of news. We received a grant, thanks to the hard work of a lot of different committees, the grant committee, a lot of volunteers, of $99,000 from the Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs for the Parkland Acquisitions and Renovations Communities Grant. That's going to be used to facilitate the construction of a walking path and I use the term splash pad, although I know it's outdated.
Spray deck is what they call it now.
Exactly. So the other thing is that the town received a grant for $281,000 for the Alder Pond Conservation Area Project by, again, the EOEEA. Yesterday, I attended a Zoom meeting with the Lieutenant Governor, the Western Massachusetts State Delegation, and other member communities of Hampshire County Group Insurance Trust. They were seeking some input as to how they could be helpful during this health insurance crisis, as well as to share some news on some pending legislation that's coming up that could impact the towns positively. We also had a kickoff meeting last week for the Southampton project Stay Cool, which would be to have community engagement and outreach with the goal of also establishing a cooling and heating center in Southampton. And then I also attended the STAM meeting last week where we had presentations from Deborah Wagner from DLS, as well as some facility managers and some of our insurance reps from Maya to discuss ways that we can reduce risk and better take care of our facilities.
And for those listening, your STAM meeting is your town administrators?
Small town administrators.
Small town administrators group, okay. All right, good, yes, so we have some good news. We're getting some grant money in, at least from the state. We're not hearing anything from the feds, but we do have some state money coming in, which is good, so. Good, all right. Any questions for Scott on his report? If not, we'll move on to select board reports, okay? John, you have anything offhand?
Nothing.
All right. Stephen, anything from your committees?
No, not anything from my committees.
Okay. I think we lost Ellen altogether. Okay. I think she's gone off. Yeah, Scott? Okay. All right. Just from my end, we had a bylaws review advisory committee meeting yesterday. We're working on a couple of bylaws, one on just delineating more of the responsibilities of the finance committee. And then we're still working on the scenic roads bylaw. That one's still taking a while to get ironed out. It's very, not so much complicated, but there's a lot of pieces to it that have to get in the right order. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So we're working on those 2 bylaws. And then tomorrow we have a grant committee meeting at 1 o'clock on Zoom. And we will then also tomorrow evening have the first Affordable Housing Trust meeting. So this housing trust was set up a couple of years ago in our bylaws and at town meeting, but we have taken a while to recruit members who are really qualified and interested to be on that. And so We have now, with Joy's appointment, that will be 4 people out of 5. And so we were having our first meeting on tomorrow night for that. So those are those various committees that are happening. And I think that's all that I have from my end, and Ellen is back, okay? Ellen, do you have any news from any of your committees? Have you had any committee meetings that you've attended? I'm not sure if we can hear you, but you can try. I'm thinking she's not even hearing us. Ellen, are you hearing us at all? No, this doesn't look possible. How about coming in on her phone, Scott, or something? Oh.
Connection with Easthampton Media, because these are supposed to be paused, or these are supposed to be muted.
Okay.
But it looks like, I don't think it's working.
As far as votes go, she could always text it or put it in the chat.
Yeah, I was trying to find the chat feature.
Nope. We'll take her hand raising, okay? So Ellen, when we have a vote, we'll just.
Oh, she can hear us.
Raise your hand. She can hear us, but we can't hear her. Okay. Oh, frustrating. Okay, technology, we love it some days. Thanks for trying and being in on the Zoom anyway. We'll get it figured out some days. It's worked in the past, so I'm not sure what's going on, but. All right, let's keep on moving on the agenda. We have some new business, so let's jump into that. Scott, first on the agenda, special town meeting update.
Quickly, so just with the updated warrant, I know that we might want to think about moving the closing date till the next meeting. We had some stuff that just came in the last 24 hours. Just looking very quickly at the draft warrant, the first part, and I'll distribute this, I'm just cleaning it up the next day or two, I'll distribute this to all the select board. But Brad and I, we worked on cleaning up the financial transfers for the health insurance for this fiscal year. It would be 150 from operating, 125 from capital. There's some leftover interest from the ambulance stabilization fund, and it'd be $50,000 from the highway. That would bring us to about $330,000. That should cover the majority of, at least the active employees' insurances.
Does that include the Medicare increase in January?
No, not yet.
So this is just to cover the increase that we were notified of in August.
And it doesn't, it doesn't include Medicare, and it doesn't include
Hampshire
Regional. We also have the transfer of funds for the Conservation Commissioner. We've updated that number. The transfer of funds for the health agent has stayed the same as well. We have the appointment of the Finance Committee, as well as possibly some other things coming down regarding the Finance Committee, perhaps a more thorough charge or responsibilities for our bylaws. We have the 2 articles about the PQB and reducing that and folding that into the select board officially. We have the fee acquisition of the Trinseri property, which goes along with the grant that we just received. I'm sorry, that's the other one. This is the one with the Kestrel, so it would be $50,000 from the town, and then that's only contingent on Kestrel obtaining and then transferring the $50,000 to the town. So it's not going to, I originally thought it was going to be $100,000, but it's actually going to be just the $50,000.
$50,000 for the con, okay.
The next one is the floor property, so I have to remove the words contingent, but we did receive the grant. So we eliminated the other one that was going to purchase it fee simple, just outright without the grant.
So this is the land grant that we just received?
Yes.
Local acquisitions for natural diversity. Okay.
We have some unpaid accounts from previous fiscal years, and then we have the park grant. So I'm just working with the state, just there's a formal introduction on November 5th that I have to attend to go over this, but preliminary, they're saying that we have to front the $150,000 first and find the funding source, and then the reimbursement would be up to $99,000 or 66% of that. So we'd have to, we're gonna have to look at finding the potential funds that we can put onto the warrant. So this is just placeholder language. Okay. So it's gonna take a little while. They do have to approve the language for the warrant before the December one. So we'll have that go through them. All right.
And that language you've got in there is just some sample language. That's not Southampton language.
No, yep, definitely not.
Okay, and just so everybody was clear, there is no Smith Park in town. Okay, good. Okay, and there may be one or two others coming, one at least maybe, depending on some work that Concom is doing or CPC. So there may be another one coming in. Yeah.
Yep. We sent out the emails a couple days ago just to remind people to get them in
Right.
early,
Yeah.
and we haven't received anything back, so.
I think with that, we ought to aim to close these on our next meeting, November 10th. Close the warrant on November 10th would be, that should give people enough time to finalize anything that they've got to get in on the warrant so we can get it posted in time. Okay? Is that good with anybody? Can we just have a motion to do that? Close the warrant for November 10th? Because we were going to do it tonight originally.
Move the
I think.
closing date of the warrant to November 10th,
Okay.
unless later changed.
Okay.
Second.
All right. Thank you. All right. We'll try again, Ellen. All those in favor?
Lumber, aye.
Johnson, aye.
All right, I see a hand up there. DeBruin, aye, and Fowles, aye. Okay, thank you very much. I don't know what's happening there.
A quick question on this. Does this indicate anything about sound?
Oh, and that's just the Wi-Fi. Yeah. Easthampton Media has us mute everything to prevent feedback, and they take over the audio controls.
Speaker with an X usually means it's off.
Yeah, they actually want us to do that. Yeah, or so it'll go feedback.
Otherwise, we have echoes all over the room when they're doing this. Yeah, no, thank you. That's true. All right, thanks. So we will, just so that people haven't forgotten, we do have a special town meeting. The word is getting out, I think. We've got it posted in a couple places already. It's been, an article, I believe, has been in the newspaper a little bit about that. It's going to be on December 6th, which is a Saturday at 10 o'clock at Norris School. And so hopefully people can plan their schedules accordingly and plan on attending, okay? Next up, Public Safety Building Committee update. Where's Ian? Are you the person?
chair.
We have several members here. Once we open,
Two.
two.
Yeah.
Good evening. Ian Illingsworth, Police Chief, also co-chair of the Public Safety Building Committee. Last Monday, the committee voted on two motions. The first motion was to no longer proceed forward with the HKT design and build with the cost. And that motion was passed. The second motion was relative to how to proceed forward relative to a fire department standalone building first. That motion was passed with dissenting votes, though. And that's where we are right now with it.
Right, okay. So at this point in time, I think one of the things that was mentioned by someone who spoke, but also at that meeting, right, was about needing a new charge
Yes.
for the committee, which I think as we looked at the last meeting, we have gotten to that level of what they were supposed to do at that point in time, so that will be a task that we will need to do. But I think it would be good to have, I think it would be good for the committee here, the board, to get the minutes and/or watch the video of the meeting, so that, you know, we have a sense, because not everybody, I mean, I've been there.
Was it
because I've been
recorded?
part of- It was recorded.
It was
yeah,
recorded, yes.
recorded.
Yes.
So there's a video already up on town website for that. And then figure out how we want to proceed, because I know there were some long discussions. It took a long time to get the
There was,
motions.
yes.
I mean,
Yes, it was.
You're being very, very quick in terms of saying that, but it must have
Right.
taken at least 5 times to
Get it
rephrase
right,
that motion.
even the language to get it right.
Right. Yeah.
And that's partially because of me,
Yeah.
but there was a lot of discussion relative to how to proceed. And it's an important discussion.
Yeah,
It was an important discussion.
okay. And my understanding was that one of the main stumbling block was more the cost on the HKT,
That's correct.
more so than the design per se, but the
Yes,
cost
the
was really
cost.
the prohibitive
It was,
thing.
yes, exactly. That's what the discussion was
Yeah.
generally about.
Great,
Okay, yeah.
great.
Anybody else from the committee who's here?
Two.
Barry? Yeah, sure. You want to come on up and say anything about your point of view or anything? It's time for the committee, if you would like to say something, you'd like to.
Summed it up pretty well.
Okay, all right. So what would you like the board to do at this point in time, then?
I think the board should give another charge, establish another charge, and go forward with a charge from the select board as to how you want the committee to proceed, or even just consider the forming an entirely new committee, having new members, however the board feels fit. But we're at a as far as the feasibility study with HKT, due to that cost, we didn't want to proceed any further. As a board, as a committee, that was unanimous, that we felt that it wasn't appropriate to proceed further with that cost and pursue that particular floor plan with the costs involved.
Okay. Have we finished all of our contractual obligations with HKT?
I have not reached out to them. I haven't informed them. I wanted to get the results of this meeting from the select board and direction from the select board to reach out to them to let them know. As far as any invoicing, we don't have any outstanding invoicing, but we have not, as a committee, or have notified HKT of our decision.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I wanted to wait until...
So there might still be a final invoice?
There possibly could be.
Yeah, okay.
Pending the, any other contractual agreements that we had, that we still need to meet with them.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a discussion I'll have with them. I just wanted to get the board's direction, the select board's direction.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so basically to not continue with that particular design, largely because of cost, but proceed with a different option, whether it's a standalone fire station or continue with a smaller complex? Is that what I understand? The voting was very complicated.
It got a little confusing. My understanding, and if anybody on the committee that's here wants to correct it, I don't have minutes exactly what they are. They weren't prepared yet. But I believe it was to, and please correct me if I'm wrong, to proceed with the standalone fire department. That was the vote. But there was dissenting opinions on that. It was not a, it was not.
With the addition of the police.
With the addition.
Phased-in approach.
Phased-in approach, yes.
Yeah, it was an
With a
expandable,
phased-in.
wasn't it?
Yes.
Expandable.
Yes, right. Standalone fire department, but phased-in police department.
Because I know, I'll speak for myself personally, I voiced my concern about standalone fire station only, not negating the fact that I think we all kind of think that that's the higher priority of the two, but I firmly am behind the public safety joint building rather than just doing one thing and then assuming 5 or 10 years from now we're going to do a police station, because I don't see that happening. I've been in this town too long. That will not happen. So let's stop kidding ourselves. If we don't make something and commit ourselves to an expandable fire safety, public safety complex to include a police station, and I don't know how we make that solidified in terms of our intention, that's a tough one. But I think we are fooling ourselves if we think we will just do the fire station and that will solve our problems, because I think the police station equally needs our attention. So
It certainly does need the
that was part of the dissenting vote, and so
Yes, that was the.
don't take any discussion at this point in time? No, sorry? Yeah? So I think that is part of the discussion that we had, is like how to proceed. And so I think that what we would like to do probably at some, mostly our next meeting, I guess, on the 10th, if we have a chance. Are you out of town? Oh, boy. Okay. When are you back?
You certainly have the meeting without me, but
Well, I know, but that's not.
I personally, I think the committee, and I think the committee should inform HTK or HKT of what their votes were, and they refer to the select board, and then they can come to us if they have questions. But this goes back to the beginning. We're coming on 2 years. Where's our 5-year plan? We sent Bradley to the school and the classes. They've got the reports. I know there's a lot of other things that are being worked on, but we need the 5-year capital. We need the 5-year forecasting. We need the capital plan. This is not the only issue in town that needs to be addressed. And to keep putting these issues up as a solo project is, we're just going to keep repeating the same thing.
Yeah.
So I don't think we'd be ready by November 10th to have a conversation
Okay.
to make
Well, we've got 2 meetings in.
one way or the other.
We've got right around Thanksgiving time, or the 1st of December, beginning of December. But we'd have to take it up. We've got to get going on a charge then, if that's one thing that is recommended. So I think we can be thinking about that and not, I don't have any bright ideas about what a charge should consist of right now. We can pick up, I can send around the old one.
Well, I guess the question is, are we still, and I'm not asking this as a question for answers tonight, but at that meeting, whenever we're going to discuss this, is this still the number one priority?
Well, I got the impression it was.
From where?
Well, in terms of doing a public safety building or fire station, yes, I think that's still.
After the last votes, I don't know if that's still accurate amongst the
okay,
citizenry. Because we haven't done anything. We haven't gone back with any facts or figures or the reports or looking at the big picture like we said we would.
Well, I think we're going to be getting there as we start talking about the various things that are going on in town. I mean, the health insurance has kind of taken over our lives right now.
Right.
And that is, dwarfing everything that we've got to do, whether it's fire station, police station, school, public safety, or, senior center, whatever. So that
Right.
Is definitely a conundrum that we've got
Yeah.
to solve.
the other
And that's why we put everything kind of on hold,
Right.
so that we could deal with the insurance first and get
Right,
that.
and the other
better.
thing we have to deal with is the 2 notices from Mass DOT that 2 of our bridges are going to be closed.
Correct, right.
So, I don't know.
Yep.
It'd be hard to rank 1 through 10.
Yeah. Well, and I think, part of the capital planning, Scott, I know you're putting together a capital plan with the department heads, and is it still primarily, though, that's more on the equipment side, is it, Scott? Or,
Yep, I can give you a quick preview.
that's okay, so what do you anticipate that plan, though, to do? Is that over a 5-year time, 10-year time?
It'll be over focus on 5, but looking out to 10 years. And is contingent on being able to borrow for a lot of this equipment. Unfortunately, when we look at the debt in our budget, all of our debt is from debt exclusions. So when the debt comes off, we don't actually realize and are able to purchase more equipment from that debt. It just goes away. So our capital plan in the past has been wholly contingent on a percentage of our free cash being available each year or having a debt exclusion. And it's never actually been built into part of our budget. So the idea is to look over the next 10 years and at least see when we might be able to absorb some of the debt as part of our budget so we can get some of these larger items.
Right.
Yeah,
But again, that's primarily all vehicles.
right, yeah.
What you're, so.
Yeah,
Right.
No, heart monitors, portable, JAWS cutter, library sidewalks.
right, but it's not facilities, is what John's saying.
Right, yeah, it's not
It's
the
not
other
facilities
buildings, it's not,
Or
the bridges.
the unexpected things like the bridges and so forth,
Right.
right? So that we've got to work on. And some of that, not to say that we're not going to look for grant money, but the grant money is getting scarcer and scarcer. We all know that much, for sure, especially from the federal sources, which would be the likely source for some of these bigger infrastructure-type projects. So, okay. Well, anyway, I think at this point in time, does anybody else from public safety want to say anything? Even, are you done with what you said? Yeah, okay. Anybody else? Yeah, okay. Christina, want to say? Sorry, I know you came in late, sorry. We didn't have our poll hearing tonight. They didn't show up, so.
Well, so I'm late, and I
Just
don't know.
introduce yourself and
Oh,
your
excuse
role.
me, Christina Madsen, 40 Rattle Hill Road, co-chair of Public Safety. I'm sorry that I'm late. And so I don't know what has transpired, and therefore don't
Chief just
know.
basically shared the vote with us right now in terms of recommending that we push aside and the HKT plan primarily because of cost and move forward with the next steps, whatever those next steps are, giving priority to the fire station, the way I understand it, but hoping to make it an expandable facility.
Okay, so I will just say that there were 2 dissenting votes to the motion. I was one of them. And I strongly believe that now over 2 feasibility studies over a 10-year span, 2 independent architectural firms have determined what we need. And I believe that we should move forward with that and really push, educate our residents and not back down. I actually believe that what is termed as a phased plan forsakes the police department. I think that given what we know about Southampton residents' willingness to spend money, if we move forward with just a fire station, you and I will never see a police department in this town. And that's not what I've worked nearly 4 years to achieve. I think that we had an assignment, and we have gotten the information we need. We've gotten it twice over 10 years. And so I had to vote against dividing it up. It's not cost effective, for one thing. It was mentioned at the meeting, it was stated that it would be a little more expensive to do it in 2 phases. That's inaccurate. It's going to be a lot more expensive. And by the time we get around to building or even proposing a police department, it's going to be gigantically more expensive and probably prohibitive. So I'm disappointed that we're not moving forward and trying to get what we were given the charge to do. I'm disappointed, and I wish, I wish it was different. I understand the costs, but I don't think that's a reason to back down. We know what we need. So I think that's...
Thank you. Okay. Okay, I think, any questions from Select Board? Any comments?
Sure. No. Oh, are you kidding me? As someone who's followed this process, both building feasibility studies, and been a strong advocate for the acquisition of these 54 acres that would accommodate both public safety building and a senior center and affordable housing and parking and accessible all persons access to the Greenway, the Southampton Greenway, which is on schedule to be completed in 2019, 2020.
2019? No.
It's funded for 2019.
29, not 19. I wish it was 19.
All right. You're right. I stand corrected. Right. So the land supports this. That was the primary motivation for acquiring this land in this location. Mm-hmm. We found that it would accommodate a senior center and additional uses. It is consistent with our master plan, our regional growth plan, our housing production plan, our open space plan, our hazard mitigation plan, identified that relocating our critical infrastructure in a public safety building and emergency operations center was a high priority. So we are following through year after year, decade after decade. Okay, what would I observe from the last meeting, which I attended, but I'm not on the Public Safety Building Committee? I think my sense of the community is the HKT report needs to be resoundingly set aside. I don't want to be too critical because there's an enormous amount of research, outreach, and so on upon which our needs assessment was built. The place we clearly got into trouble was putting a price tag alongside our needs. And I think we, at this point, have heard clearly from the voters and from federal government and the economy in general, we need to get our operating account under control. We're in a crisis in terms of meeting health insurance and other expenses. Completely unexpected. Not bad planning, completely unexpected. Okay, and then we need to build a multi-year capital plan that includes these projects. I would say public safety, in my view, is the most urgent issue because we're not OSHA compliant, we're not ADA compliant. Our public servants are working in completely unhealthy conditions. Probably shouldn't be putting this on television. And this is, in my mind, the #1 priority. But let me add briefly that I have been consistently advocating for master planning this property, and we've gotten through a needs assessment driven by this board, and then with community input and help from Pioneer Valley Planning Commission and Dodds and Flinker. So now we have a conceptual plan of how public safety building, plus the senior center, which I fully support as well, plus affordable housing, agricultural elements would be retained. It would again provide parking and accessible connection to the Southampton Greenway. And the parcel that we never talk about is beyond the Greenway, beyond the old railroad, and down to the Manhan River frontage. But those 7 acres, we've always said that's obvious floodplain and a piece of conserving the Manhan River corridor. When you add up all of these public use benefits and coordinate them, you've got much more than the sum of the parts. What unlocks this? Careful planning that allows phasing and development of each and any of those uses, more or less independent of the other. And towards that end, I'm working now with you and the Grants Committee to fund the next round. That we need some professional help, but we need to make it a lot more homegrown as well. We need to be technically grounded, that we're protecting our water resources and doing everything right that way. But I think we're going to, again, need to put our shoulder to the wheel in looking at the costs. And with help, probably, again, consultants, to educate and communicate to the community how each of these plays out and reinforces the other, because I strongly believe that they do, and I strongly believe we will incrementally, over perhaps many years, get funding support to build it out.
Okay, all right.
As far as a public fire station standalone with, opportunities, no, I'm not personally in support of that. I think that's cost inefficient and it doesn't address our urgent needs.
Okay, thank you. Ellen, I'm not sure if you can say anything or if you'd like to say anything. Can we hear you? We still don't have a volume.
Easthampton Media hasn't been able to diagnose it yet.
Sorry, Ellen. Apologize. Okay. We have a technical issue tonight of all nights. So at this point in time, I think we've heard comments. I don't know that we're ready to take a vote on any particular motion at this point in time. I don't want to necessarily have a motion tonight. I'd like to suggest that we all think about this a little bit more and come back at our next meeting or two whenever we have our quorum in place. I'd like to have a discussion with everybody present rather than trying to do this half hybrid thing that is not working tonight. And talk about, what are the options from our point of view. We've heard what public safety is recommending to us. I think we have to take that seriously, obviously. They've put a lot of work into that, and, there was a lot of deliberation the other day, too, about how they would like to present the challenges going forward to us. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of wiggle room in terms of taking the HKT plan and trying to still downsize it. I will remind anybody who's been listening to us that over time, and especially in the last few months, we'd already decreased the amount of square footage, total square footage, I believe, down to 21,000 square feet. It had been 26,000. It had been more than that even before, I believe. And as we looked at the current public safety structure in town, existing, current fire and police station that we have, which is, as you know, kind of scattered all over the place, that amount of square footage was 16,000 square feet. So the new facility was asking for 5,000 square feet more. So that is where that is. So
we don't yet have a pumper truck.
That's a totally separate issue, right? Exactly. That's the grant we're waiting to hear about. We've applied for it. So I guess the issue is trying to figure out how you can possibly get a square foot cost less than what we've been told. And various people have got different thoughts about that. Certainly from the architects that we've talked to, it's been closer to that $1,000 a square foot, not $500 a square foot. So
And to be
whether
clear,
we
we can't buy a pumper truck unless we have a place to park it indoors.
well,
That, full stop.
well, whatever happens first. Yes, I don't know what's going to happen first. That's the trouble.
Where's that chief?
But anyway, so just to say that we're at that level where even if we try to take the HKT design and downsize it even more somehow, and again, based on the needs assessment that was done for both the fire and the police department by the fire chiefs and the police chief to talk about what their needs are for space to be a functional facility, we're not quite sure, I think, at that meeting the other day, that we could downsize it any more meaningfully to really achieve that difference in cost. So when I hear maybe 15 million versus 25 million, I don't know how we make up a $10 million cost no matter what we do, honestly. So I think that's a debate we all need to talk about a little bit more ourselves and get into it in a bit more detail, which probably should not be tonight. I would really like us to be around a table and sit down and kind of debate ups and downs on our side as well.
Well, I agree with you, but I think I'd like to expand on that. And when we take this up at our next meeting, and I think it's that important to keep it going, I'd like to see a draft charge reflecting what we've already heard from the committee, and some further thoughts about whether people want to, take a break and invite new people onto the committee, or whether they're really committed and want to keep going for another term. I'm not clear about how membership and terms work currently, but everybody ought to have a chance.
Sure. And I think usually, I mean, this was started out kind of as a combination. I think the naming of the committee has always been Public Safety Building, but it was really much more of a feasibility committee in many ways. But the name was chosen before the tasks were, I think.
Shorten the name.
In that, but I think certainly when we get to a point, and to me that would be real designs, not just the conceptual drawing that we have now. Those are when, when you've got an architect's designs, that's when you're going to need to have probably a more technically skilled committee, I would assume, that have got, some of that engineering and architecture background to really monitor the work that the architect's doing, work with the OPM, et cetera. So,
and with the goal to minimize unnecessary expense and to increase efficiency.
But all I'm saying is that change will happen. I just don't know the timing of that change. I'm not sure that it's
on the work scope.
Right, exactly. So I think that's something that we need to talk about in terms of what the charge would consist of. I can take a stab if you'd like to put a few thoughts down on paper so that when we do meet and have that, I will.
With consultation to the chairs.
For sure. But I'll take a look at maybe some other building committees in a couple of other neighboring towns and see if I can get information from them in terms of what they, instructed, if you will, their building committees to do. That might help us get started on that. Okay.
That's fine.
All right. Okay. All right. So if no further discussion on public safety, we'll keep on moving.
Thank you.
All right. We have our ARPA quarterly reports and our ARPA financial report. I'm thinking we're not getting anywhere with that. So, sorry, Ellen. You're welcome to keep on listening in here, but I guess we cannot get us here in terms of your chiming in tonight. So we have the ARPA financial reports we've gotten from Bradley.
Are we just accepting those two into the records and?
I think at this point in time, unless you've got some comments on them, they look like they're pretty good. We've got a couple of things that have been challenging just in terms of the culvert management grant that came in where we had to obligate the full amount of the grant and then we got reimbursed from the state. So we did get that reimbursement from the state now. I think it was about $84,000 reimbursed, which we have in our coffers. So it's gone back more into I believe it's gone into our general fund, not back into the ARPA coffers.
Yeah, but isn't there 130,000 coming? I might have the number wrong, but didn't we get penalized because of previous select board?
That was CARES money. That was totally CARES money.
But that had to come out of the general fund. We have to come up with the money somewhere.
It will have to, yes, at some point, yeah.
So it's just
right.
really an offset.
Yeah, well, two different grants. I'm not sure where that one can go, where the ARPA money can go back to.
Well,
I don't know.
Previous select board overspent. This select board had to come up with the money during all this other crisis, put it in, and now we've got $84,000 coming in.
Well,
the general fund. I
I'm
don't think it should show up on any expense line. I think it needs to fall out in free cash.
It might.
Because this year we had zero free cash.
Right, no, it might very well. The 130 on the CARES Act is largely due to FEMA rejecting things that had been approved and changing the percentage that they were going to reimburse on things. So that was what caught up a lot of that at the very end. So anyway, the ARPA figures are, just to say that there's a few things that are still being spent. There's an ARPA quarterly report tracker. Those that are active projects are still reporting on a quarterly basis. There's probably four projects that are ongoing out of everything that we've approved, and those will continue to be spent. Probably the one that's the most ongoing is the financial software, I believe, Scott, that's a continuing ARPA project. The others are getting closer to the end. And so we've kept track on the ARPA decision-making, the ARPA quarterly tracker in terms of report tracking, and then Bradley's giving us monthly reports on those. So at this point in time, I think we're on track. We can still be spending the money. We can't reobligate any new money for ARPA. We have another year basically to spend all the money that we have awarded out. So I think we're doing okay from the reports I'm seeing anyway. Does anybody have any other questions on that? All right, if not, we'll go down to surplus equipment. Scott, you want to walk us through whatever we've got? We've got some new things to be able to sell. We're cleaning out more things.
Judy's used equipment emporium will
yes, I know.
soon be reopened.
Really?
So we have a few things from the fire department: an air compressor, some Cascade system bottles, and a SCBA fill station. The one that we funded through capital last year has been installed, so there's no more need from it. So this is the compressor that's used to fill the bottles. This is I believe the SCBA unit, and then this is the spare bottle. So the chief would like to see if there's any value to it and post it on the Munibids website. For the library, we have some heat lamps, which are those things that you see at restaurants that stand up. They're in good working order, so we would like to change those. And last but not least, we have some old computers. So they're probably not worth anything, especially with the hard drive destroyed, but we'll post them and see if there's anyone.
I move that on recommendation of town administrator, we declare the entire list surplus.
Okay. Surplus for IT, fire department, and the library. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Lumber, aye.
Johnson, aye.
I see De Bruin, aye. Very, very good. Fowles, aye. All right, thank you. Yeah, so we can put those on the surplus list, and Judy can proceed with disposal on those. Good. Land use planning update. Stephen has given a bit of an intro to that, but Scott, want to give us an update about what's happening schedule-wise?
So hot off the presses from Dodson and Flinker, we got the most recent conceptual drawing. I'm not, Stephen, did they share that with you? Okay.
Yes.
I just got it yesterday. Looks really amazing. I think people are going to be really, really happy with it. I think it's...
I don't have that.
Huh?
I have an earlier version.
Oh, you don't have the most recent one?
No.
Oh, okay. I'll forward it. I'll forward it to the select board.
That would be perfect.
Yeah, but it's really great. And when you see what the work that DNF did on their 3D rendering conceptual designs, it really comes to life, like seeing it on paper like that way. And they're going to do a lot more. I think they're going to do some like 3D modeling and things like that. But so once that's kind of approved, I think that it'll go to the final public phase where there's a presentation and kind of a unveiling of it. So I think everyone should be really excited about it. I think it's there's two really great options, but there's a lot of opportunity to move forward with the town to phase it in. We have the commercial section, we have the affordable housing section, and then we still have the area that's reserved for municipal use. And then the other great thing is going to be the access to the greenway as well. I think they did a really great job tying that in. And when you look at the entire project, they took into account the neighbors, their concerns, especially with water drainage. We still have to go before Mass DOT, but when you look at the way that they did the and potential access to the property, you also have to look at the size and scope of it. We had a lot of different opinions from doing absolutely nothing to building huge apartment complexes. I think when people see the design, and it looks a lot better once you see the 3D rendering. When you see the visuals up above, straight above, it looks a lot bigger than it actually is. But once everyone sees that, you're going to see the scope of it. And I think people are going to be pretty happy with it. It's going to be, it's going to present a new option for the town for people that, this is going to be a place where people will want to come, whether it's, to use the greenway, to use the commercial, to live there, to visit, if we have different community events there as well, and like a new town green, I think it's going to be a real place where people are going to want to come and gather.
Okay. And do we have a rough timeline about when we might have that session, or no?
Not yet, not yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
But before the end of the year, most likely?
Hopefully.
Yeah. Okay, hope so. Yeah.
I'll just PS that, that Dodson, Flinker, and Pioneer Valley Planning Commission consultants have helped us with applying for the next round of grants, and really valuable work that we've completed with them so far to build on, to take the next steps, and to seek funding for the professional services that we'll need. Still, as I said earlier, we need to put our shoulder to the wheel and put a local face on every bit of this decision-making.
Okay, thank you. All right, just briefly on the 250th anniversary, we're still plugging away on various things here. We have 2 events in November that are definitely got a date certain. One is November 9th, which is a Sunday afternoon from 3 to 6. We're doing another musical bingo, and this time it's going to be at Tin Can Alley over by next to the bowling lanes. If you haven't frequented Tin Can Alley, it's right next door to Canal Bowling. And they will be hosting us for Sweater Weather Bingo, musical bingo, which the first one we did in February turned out to be a lot of fun. And so we're hoping we can have another event on November 9th. And then on November 23rd, I believe it's a Sunday, also the First Congregational Church next door here will be doing a gratitude service that is both not only toward Thanksgiving, obviously, but looking at the relationship, the historical relationship between the town and the church that has existed for more than 200 years. And so we'll be getting a little bit of a history lesson along with that. And it's also going to be a chance to celebrate the 15th anniversary of the community cupboard. So there'll be more information on that. So I know that a lot of us have been concerned lately about donations for the community cupboard, and we thank all those that have put their voices out to try and make that more a top priority among people's thinking about where they could maybe help out and give some donations. And I think we'll probably add that in on the 23rd as well. And then we're still working on December, but we're talking about a front yard / porch holiday decorating contest. So for those of you that go out and shop early for all your holiday decorations, keep that in mind. You might want to find something totally unique and creative. We'll get some more details out on that. But sometime that would probably start right around Thanksgiving time and for the first couple weeks of December. And then we're looking to work with the fire department on a couple of things in addition to the usual tree lighting out here, some sort of a mini fire truck parade, decorated fire truck parade, and then we will hopefully be having a bonfire on New Year's Eve. That would end our 250th celebration. So, and that would be at Churchill, right next door. So those are what's in the planning stages, so stay tuned. We'll get the information out as best we can, and hopefully you can find one of those activities to join in on. So. All right, any other business that can't wait until our next meeting, which is on Monday, November 10th, given the holiday? All right. If not, Stephen, warrants are on your
My
agenda here.
favorite. Yes, dramatic reading.
Yes.
So we've paid the following warrants. W25-49A, the amount is $4,651.84. PD 26-8, the amount is $53,804.50. PD 26-8A, the amount is $252,479.81. P 26-12, the amount is $363,201.22. PD 26-12, $60,907.84. PD 26-12A, the amount is $305,389.77. W26-13, the amount is $197,169.94. P26-14, the amount is hard to read, $353,873.93. PD 26-14, the amount is $58,291.07. And lastly, W26-15, the amount is $329,217.97.
Okay. Very good. Thank you very much. Appreciate your looking those over and signing those each week. We have one PCF in front of us. John, would you like
Motion
to
to
take that?
approve PCF for the Highway Department, Mark Craig, new hire, part-time, non-benefited, only as needed, has CDL, would be an additional driver during inclement weather. Pay rate of $40 an hour, effective November 1st.
Okay.
Second.
All right. Okay. All those in favor?
Lumber, aye.
Johnson, aye.
I hear DeBruin, aye over there, and Fowles, aye. Okay, thank you very much. That is approved. We'll sign that PCF tonight. Old business. Any further update on 24 audit, Scott? I know we had our auditor here a couple weeks ago, and we're done with the 23 audit and making progress at getting her all the information we need on the 24 audit. But
Yep.
where are we at with that?
So we met with I met with the financial team, met with the finance team on Monday. Dave, our assessor, Megan, treasurer, and Bradley, the town accountant. So we're going to start pushing over next month to get some of those done. Everyone's been signed up. Megan has been uploading a significant portion of documents. I've been getting the emails each time. So I'll get a percentage for next meeting to just get that along. But it's now the focus is try to only be 2 years behind.
Right.
So we are moving forward, and it's a priority.
Okay. And our goal is still to get our free cash in for December.
Yes, that is the goal. Yep. I met with Bradley, and looks like that's more than likely doable. So not to jinx it, but I think that'll be whatever's left of free cash. That's a different topic, but I think we'll be certified by then. The tax rate, on a related note, was just, I think I forwarded it to the select board. The preliminary valuations were just approved, and Dave's going to finish that up in the next week or two. We hope to we'll probably have to have the classification hearing. Hopefully, if everything works out, maybe the mid-November meeting, if not very early in December.
Okay. All right, good. All right. These other two we just have had on here. So in my head, old business, to me, it's old business / pending business. We just wanted to bring back on something that we haven't acted on. We voted on it at town meeting, but we haven't put it together yet, which is this prudent investor rule and getting a trust fund set of commissioners set up. And that's something that we still have to do. It's on the to-do list. A lot of that work would involve our treasurer, I believe, too. And given her part-time nature right now, I'm not sure that takes priority over getting the audit information in, but it's definitely on the list so we don't forget it.
And on the volunteer side, the finance committee, before we add another committee with similar skill needs. Wouldn't you say the trustees of the
trust fund,
fund
yeah.
would have similar overlapping skills with a healthy functioning finance committee?
Maybe, maybe not. I think it's more in terms of investment, right, John? I mean, I'm not sure in terms of the
Fair.
prudent investor rule. It's really focusing not on the general fund so much, which is where finance committee would focus more of their attention. The investment fund is really much more per our investment policy that the treasurer manages, so.
That's correct.
And that's with Bartholomew, yeah, so. East Street, as far as we know, everything is still on track with that. I think there've been some meetings with Randall lately on that, so we're still on board with that eventual widening and improvement of East Street as far as what, Whispering Lane, I think it is, or down in that area, goes from here to that area. So we've got a few things on board with DOT. I know there's a DOT meeting coming up this week. Is it this week?
At Westover.
Right. But it was more just, was it intended to be a meet and greet kind of session with officials from Boston? Is that it? From the transportation office?
It's your time to vent.
Same.
You know, that's the event to go to vent your frustrations with the DOT.
Yeah. Okay, well, maybe Scott might end up going. I'm not going to be able to go, but, okay, so we do have our select board meeting, as I mentioned, right now, November 10th and 25th. We can talk about the 25th. If that's too close to Thanksgiving, we could fiddle with that date differently, perhaps, and then December 9th and 23rd. And then our special town meeting, December 6th. So just for those that are here, since I can't hear Ellen, John and Stephen, are the dates of those that you will not be here?
Well, yeah, November 10th right now, I'll be at a summit.
Okay.
And December 9th, I'll be in Portsmouth.
Okay. December
9th.
9th as well? Okay. All right, all right. Stephen, are you around, do you think, or?
I think so.
Okay.
The 10th is the first night when I fly in, so, I mean, I could, if they can figure out the Zoom thing.
Okay. Yeah, that has worked in the past. I'm not sure what's going on with it now, so, for November 10th, okay. All right, we'll check that out and see what we can do. Okay, we will be going into executive session. We have two reasons for the executive session. The first is MGL Chapter 30A, Section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigating position of the public body, and the chair so declares. This is regarding health insurance. And also MGL Chapter 30A, Section 21A2, to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel, or to conduct collective bargaining sessions or contract negotiations with non-union personnel, and this is regarding the police chief. So with that, if I could have a motion to adjourn our regular meeting and go into executive session.
Do you anticipate coming back into open session?
We will not be coming back into open session.
So moved.
Second.
All right. All those in favor, roll call vote, please.
Raleigh?
Johnson, aye.
Okay, I see the De Bruin, aye. Fowles, aye. So we will adjourn at 7:15 and pick up in a minute on our executive session.